we're at Tank and Roach now.
Yeah.
And we'll let you go first.
Naeem was not happy. To say, hey, Naeem, I thought you supposed to been on stage at that time. I don't understand how you pulled that off.
Nah, I started. The fight was ending. It ended right before our show started.
Oh, okay.
Cherry picking going wrong.
Damn.
Cherry picking going. And this is no disrespect to Lamont Roach. Lamont Roach is a talented fighter. He's a champ at 130. But Tank is quick to say someone does not deserve a fight because of what they've done, or their resume and all of those things. And Lamont Roach is not who we wanted him to see, who we wanted to see him fight. And he's in a different weight class. So that's why I called it a cherry pick. And he got his ass kicked, in my opinion. I know people going to come for me, but I had him winning. I had him up at least 3 rounds. At least 3 rounds.
Oh.
Not including the knockdown.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was, to me, if it would have been 116, 112, I'd have been okay with that.
So
in Roach's favor.
You let your psychology get to you too, huh?
Hey, I know what I was watching.
What did you have it after 4 rounds, Zittel?
4 rounds.
2-2.
I'm sorry, after 6. Why did I say 4?
4-2.
Because I had it 4-2.
4-2 Davis.
I had it 4-2 Davis. What did you have it after 6?
I had it 5-1 for Roach.
For Roach?
He said, okay, nigga, I brought you on the show, Naeem. That's why.
Listen.
At the end, I felt like I had Roach winning. Don't get me wrong.
First
yeah,
round
at the end of 12, I had 7-5 Roach. But.
Yeah, I had 7-5 Roach.
Say again?
Didn't some of the judges give the first round to Tank?
I think so. I think he might be right about that.
How? He landed 1 punch.
Yeah.
Roach landed 3 punches to his 1, and he was the aggressor. How did Tank win that round?
Yeah.
Because he's Tank, Naeem.
Okay, if it's going to be just funny. Because of that, then all right, fine.
Yeah. No, he didn't win.
What Tank does.
He didn't win the first round.
On any of them?
Nope, he didn't win the first round.
So there you go. He didn't.
What about the unofficial scorecard?
Unofficial.
Oh boy. Probably on a.
It doesn't matter. It's unofficial.
I think Larry Hazard may have scored it for Tank.
Yeah,
I felt like
because he had Tank up 5-1.
You know what Tank does? Tank starts off slow, right?
Yeah.
He tries to fill his opponent out, and then he starts to put the pressure on you. And I felt like he did the same thing. I felt like those first few rounds were giveaway rounds. They could have went either way because it wasn't much action, but I gave him to Lamont Roach for being the aggressor. Then he tried to step it up, and there was one round that was very decisive. He came out, he caught him with a couple good punches. I think he hit it with like a double left. And I was like, okay, he in it now.
7.
But then when he started to pressure, bring the pressure up, Lamont Roach was fighting back, and he was catching a lot of those counters and then countering himself. And we've never seen anybody do that with Tank. He usually starts to set him up, and then he'll put you down. In all of his fights, he's down on the scorecards. Most of them, he's down the scorecards until it's a knockout. And in this fight, he tried to put that pressure on, and it didn't work. And I just didn't. I felt like he got outclassed. I felt like it was a boxing clinic.
So I'll go ahead.
No, I just felt like Roach was the Tank, and he was landing the bigger shots. I never felt like Tank was Tank that night. He's in the corner arguing with his corner. I'm like, Tank, come on. I never heard somebody say, "No, you listen to me." He told his trainers, "You listen to me." I remember Coach Berry told him in the 9th round, "I need these next 3." And then he goes out in the 12th round, and he's like, "What do you mean it's the 12th round?" A lot of that shows like he's not all in no more. I don't know. I don't feel like Tank's all into the sport no more. And
I don't feel like he wasn't into
boxing.
it.
Huh?
I don't feel like he wasn't into it. I feel like he just met his match. It was a cherry pick going wrong.
Okay.
You fought somebody that had the pop to keep him off of you and was countering your counters.
I'm gonna say two things. First, I'm gonna go back to the previous episode when I told y'all he's playing a kid on the court that's played him before down the block. That's how it goes.
Before he made the league.
This Tank's let's just flow with this analogy. Tank's a D1 player, and he's got somebody in the same city that plays the same way, seen the same rhythm, same techniques, has come up under the same tutelage and everything, but just couldn't be D1. He's a D2 player. And I was showing love to Lamont and saying that he's a D2 player simply because he's not at the level that Tank is at.
But he's scoring the same amount of points at the D2 level.
But when you put them on the court in a one-on-one, say again?
Why can't he be mid-major? Why he got to be D2?
I want to make it significant. You know what I mean?
D2 guys are late bloomers.
Yeah,
they can come on in the pros later on.
You say D1 AA.
Well, he's D1 AA. God damn it. My point is, just because he's not the guy that you know, don't mean when he get on the court that he can't actually play with this guy and meet him to the spot and beat him there and bat down the ball and all these other kinds of things. He knows that. I said this last week. He knows the rhythm and the techniques and the way that Tank do what he do. He know Tank's mentality. They've seen each other in the ring, amateur and also in sparring and all those kinds of stuff. I wasn't trying to say this wasn't going to be a good fight because they know each other. I was actually saying this is going to be a good competitive fight because this dude knows the game. He knows that DMV game, right? And so this fight ended up being much closer than most people expected it to be. Mm-hmm. Now I want to hit you with the psychology of what's going on in the ring on fight night. I'm going to hit you and I'm going to hit the judges. So for you, you know that Tank come out slow. You know that Tank going to give up the first 3 or 4 rounds. So there was no way that fight was going to be 4-2 after 6. It was going to be 5-1 no matter what, because in your mind, Tank giving up the first 3. That's what you know psychologically. So if anything had gone any different, you probably wouldn't have picked up on it because you lay back waiting on Tank to turn it on the way he always turns it on after 3 or 4 rounds. I had it 4-2 after 6.
Lamont or Tank?
Tank. I had it 4-2 after 6 for Tank. I thought that Tank was a little more active in the early rounds than we have seen in the past, and I thought that he landed a little bit more in probably rounds 2, 3, 4, and probably dropped the 6th round. I don't remember how I had.
I think I remember that. So I gave Roach 1, 4, and then 7, 8, 10, 11, 12.
Yeah.
So 7-5.
Yeah.
But Tank actually had a good 5th and 6th. I mean, it was very slow. Those first 6 rounds were just slow, period. Yeah. And Roach really only got to cooking once he felt the power in 6 and 7 and went, wait, I could take this. And then he kind of took over the fight after that moment.
And that was the worst thing that Tank could have did. Everybody always asks, including you be the main one, can he handle the moment? Can he handle the moment? Well, Tank and the team wasn't smart enough to say, hey, he ain't never been here before. Let's put some heat on his ass. Let's not start this fight the way you always start. You gotta right out the gate. You gotta put some heat on his ass and remind him of who you are. Yeah, you've played on the block with him plenty of times. Let him know this night is different from those nights.
Like he did with Frank Martin. Even though he didn't throw a lot of punches against Frank Martin, he immediately was on his front foot, high guard, applying pressure, and just had a lot more intensity and sense of urgency in that fight than he did in this fight. So
early on, did you feel like?
Hey,
go ahead.
Got to cut you off. Maybe Lamont just that damn good.
Oh yeah, that definitely happened.
That's the other thing. You got to give him
Frank Martin's a better athlete than Lamont, maybe more explosive and bigger, but he's not the technical counterpuncher that Lamont is. He's not as experienced and as crafty as Lamont is. That had a lot to do with it. Mm-hmm. And just real quick about a rematch, like, I think both fighters are going to definitely be better in a rematch.
Yep.
And as a lot of people getting talking about, oh, don't take anything away from Lamont. Look, I thought Lamont won the fight, and I think he had a huge reason why. But I do think Gervonta can fight better than he did in this fight. I know what I saw last June at the MGM, and I know what I saw last Saturday in Brooklyn. It wasn't quite the same guy.
I was about to ask Now, did you feel like you were watching a different Tank? Or did you feel like it was Lamont Roach causing Tank to be, causing the fight to go the way that it went?
I think it was the opponent. You said something about it being competitive. You knew it would be competitive. Tank has not been in a fight that was not competitive until he knocked the person out.
Yeah.
They're always competitive.
Yeah.
And this is the guy that was willing to stand in there, and he was ready for everything that he brought.
Yeah.
Even his father said in the corner, he said, "You know what he's looking for? He's trying to set you up for the left hand counter. That's what Tank do." Mm-hmm. He said once he feel your power and he realized he could walk through you, then he gonna set you up for the counter and put you down. Mm-hmm. And Lamont Roach was ready for it. He was catching that counter, and he had his own pop, kept him off of him. So that's why when we see somebody like if he ever fights Shakur, is he going to be able to keep him off him with the pop? That's the thing. Tank's usually fighting somebody that he can walk through the punches, get close to him, and he'll lay him down. I never see him get stumbled like that. Like, he got caught with some big shots, at least times. 3 or 4.
Yeah. Shout out to the Mr. James White Jr., 13. He asked a question. He said, I believe the business of boxing showed itself Saturday night to the point of the cherry picking. He says, do you believe Lamont's counterpunching skill exposed Tank and Shakur as a problem?
I think it exposed Tank, but I don't know if it exposed Tank for Shakur. Because, like I said, he don't have the pop to keep him off of him.
Yeah.
But anybody that's a big puncher and has the IQ, I felt like he definitely got exposed. And for anybody that's watching, I'm not a Tank hater. I really like Tank. I think he's a top 5 pound-for-pound talent, generational talent. But thinking that and knowing it is two different things, because he hasn't been in the ring with the opposition to prove it. So I just want to see him fight the best guys. I want to see him fight the champs at his weight class.
Mm-hmm. I didn't feel like it exposed him, but I do honestly feel like it was something that I knew about Tank. Tank is a very good counterpuncher who can fight on the front foot and pressure you. He's a tank, but his raw natural ability is to find the rhythm and the timing and counterpunch you, set you up, run you into the punch, use your momentum against you, and clean you up. As we saw, Lamont and the team knew that. Early on, Tank is moving, trying to set up that rhythm, and I could see that Lamont wasn't going to give it to him.
Right.
And they really never gave him. They forced Tank to come to the middle of the ring.
Never fell into the traps.
And operate right there. And I truly do think that Tank didn't do enough of the right things in training so that he was prepared to fight in the middle of the ring. We've heard Coach Cal say it so many times. We just want somebody that can pull it out of him. We just want somebody that can pull it out. That night, Tank wasn't ready for it to be pulled out of him. It was cause for something else different to do, and he has the ability to do it. But on that night where he was called for it, he didn't know how to pull it out.
Yeah, and that's on him. Like, when people are, they don't want to hear that maybe he was off his game and all that. Well, he was, but that's on him. Mm-hmm. That's on him. And part of it is, like Naeem's talking about, he wants to see him fight the best fighters in his weight class. He and a lot of people around him have programmed him to think that that's just all media talking points and critics and haters. And no, it's not. And, that'll dull and domesticate your fighting spirit. Trying to make a guy, it's not about belts. It's not about proving you're the best or any of that. It's only about money. It's only about money, and fuck what everyone else has to say. It's like, all right, I don't think you want your in your prime fighter thinking like that, And Floyd Mayweather got like that, but he at once upon a time was also a really hungry, ambitious fighter who knew he was the best and wanted everyone to know that.
Yeah.
And I think at 29, 28, 30 years old, it's too early to be thinking like that.
He got there too soon.
He
got there too soon, thinking that
and hasn't accomplished nearly as much as Floyd did.
The matchmaking, they modeled his matchmaking behind Mayweather, and I think it was just too soon for him to get to, well, I'm going to fight this guy and I'm going to make the dollars, because this time it worked against him. Nah, what you think when he took the knee?
Before I answer that, people always say that Mayweather was cherry picking, or once he became Money May, he wasn't fighting the top fighters, and that's bullshit. He fought how many champs in a row?
He fought Canelo and Pacquiao. There's only two fighters that he didn't fight that people wanted him to fight, and that was Margarito and my man that's paralyzed, Paul Williams.
And he would have beat both of them.
No, I don't think he would have beat Paul Williams.
Yeah,
you don't think he would have beat Paul Williams?
No. He's 6'2" and threw 100 punches. Some styles are wrong for you, brother. We would never know. We never know. I'll tell you. Wait. I got to tell you this story, Naeem. Okay. I'm at the Orleans Hotel here in Vegas, right? And a buddy of mine sees Floyd downstairs. He's like, man, I wanted to ask him for a picture. I go, let's go ask him for a picture. Floyd's cool. He'll do it. And we go down so Paul Williams is fighting Sean Mitchell on Boxing After Dark, right? And we go to ask Floyd a picture. He's with his crew at the bar, not drinking, but he's watching the fight. And my boy goes, hey, can I get a picture, Floyd? And he goes, wait 1 minute. Wait till this round is done, right? Round's over. I look up. He's watching the Paul Williams-Shawn Mitchell fight. Paul Williams beat the hell out of Shawn Mitchell, dropped him 4 or 5 times, knocked him out sooner than Floyd did. And the next day at boxingtalk.com, Floyd's doing one of his chats on Boxing Talk, and someone asked, hey, what do you think of Paul Williams? He just got the knockout last night. Naeem, he said, I never heard of him.
Yeah.
Never heard of him.
Yeah.
So he, Floyd is to me, a Mount Rushmore fighter.
Mm-hmm.
But some guys are all wrong for you.
And also, I mean, he played the business right.
Yeah.
Floyd always gave up the titles. So yeah, Victor Ortiz, go ahead, you're a champion now. But I gave up. I was never undisputed. I don't care about that because you're not about to tax me. It was a business move. So everybody he fought was, and Floyd.
But did you not know who those people were when he fought them? You knew every box he faced. You knew who he was. Right?
His soft touch was someone else's career-defining fight.
They always,
you know what I mean?
Had a belt.
Yeah, like his soft touch is Robert Guerrero or Marcos Maidana. For everyone else, that's their big one. Was his small. So yeah, to Naeem's point, I'm not hating on Floyd.
And one thing I don't care what they say, they could have been both 25. I think he still smoked Pacquiao, no matter what. As a matter of fact, he stops Pacquiao if he's money man. If he's pretty boy. Every age, he smokes Pacquiao.
Versus Pacquiao.
He stops Pacquiao.
With the drug test, yes. I think he smokes Pacquiao.
I was trying to, I almost said it, Don, but you took it out of my mouth.